Well, hello, and how are you today? I'm Ask Dr. Gold with the Ask Dr. Gold Show, and I would like to welcome you to our show today. I'm excited because I have a guest today who is a very special person. His name is Damon Brown. He is a student, he's an artist, and most of all, he's a historian. And he's here today to share some information with us today. Oh my gosh, I can hardly wait. Well, before we start, I want to be sure to thank our sponsors. We would like to thank Dallas Indigo 1245 CEO. We would also like to thank our prayer warriors, Ann, Kim, Amber, Felicia, and the Way of Life Ministry with Minister Pastor Timothy Henderson and Arzetta. We would also thank our warriors. Those are that would be ODXO, that would be Kim, that would be Drayson, that would be also Mr. Warren and Mr. Chris. We are so excited to have such a great group of supporters for what we're doing here on the Ask Dr. Gold show. Well, without further ado, let's get started. I'm so excited about this young man and I'm ready to hear what he has to say. Without further ado, Mr. Damon Brown. Come on.
Thank you for having me. My name is Damon Brown. I am a student. I am an artist. I just had a birthday, so I am now
Yes.
I'm now 27 years old.
Awesome.
Today my topic is going to be Big Ben and Notre Dame, or in English, Our Lady of Paris.
All right.
Known as Elizabeth Tower or simply the Clock Tower, Big Ben was the creation and design of architect and designer August Welby Northmore Pugin, who was employed by Sir Charles Barry of Westminster Palace fame when the original burned down in 1834, when they had tally sticks for accounting and it burned, and they burned them, and all of a sudden they catch fire. Construction began on September 28, 1845, and it was also Pugin's last design before his death in 1852.
Okay.
Big Ben is also named for the bell, which originally was 16 tons, but the bell broke when they were molding and casting it.
Oh, I see.
And they had to make a new one from scratch. Big Ben was completed in 1859.
Right.
Nearly 162 years ago to this very day. It was a marvel and still is, and it stands 316 feet high, measuring 40 feet on each side, resting on 12 feet of concrete. The tallest building today that I know of is the One World Trade, which is a skyscraper measuring 1,776 feet.
Wow, that is so amazing. And if you're just now joining us, I'm Ask Dr. Gold with the Ask Dr. Gold show. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and so many other social media platforms. But today we're being sponsored by Buzzsprout.com. That's BUZZSPROUT.com. And we're excited to be on that platform today. All right, we have Mr. Demond Brown here. He is a historian and a student and an artist, and he's giving us some very good information about Big Ben. Continue, Mr. Brown.
Thank you. It also rests on 12 feet of concrete foundation. And if you explore Big Ben, it has all 11 rooms, including an oak paneled prison room, which was last used in 1880. Now, how many people know about the origins of Big Ben?
I don't.
Well, allow me to tell you.
All right.
The origin of the name Big Ben is still a subject for debate. Its name is originally for the Big Bell, which stands about 13.5 tons. And the honor is said to go to Sir Benjamin Hall, the first Baron of Landover, and also a Welsh politician. Others thought it would be boxing heavyweight champion Benjamin Kant,
What? Oh,
whose nickname is apparently, ironically, Big Ben.
Wow.
Now, for the people who are watching this channel now, I'm going to let them decide. And I'm going to allow Miss Jerry to decide.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I think I can't figure it out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
To me, I don't know. I would just let history decide this one.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Have you finished?
Oh, the clock became an icon and a cultural symbol of the United Kingdom, particularly in film or television. In 2008, most people found that Big Ben has been named the most iconic film location in London.
Oh my goodness.
So from James Bond to most any other film based in London, you would find Big Ben in most of them. I remember it from the 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, yes.
Where you can see Big Ben in the films. Now, on August 21st, 2017, the bells were silenced for only 4 years to allow restoration work on the iconic symbol to begin.
Okay.
The goal was to preserve it for future generations. And it was revealed that there was more damage than it let on. From the Blitz attack in 1941, there was still cracks and damage and cracks on the stained glass windows and all that, to the deterioration on the stone towers and broken glass. The original cost was $29 million, but it doubled to £69 million.
To fix it? Oh my goodness.
Not just to fix it, but to restore its clock face.
Okay.
The color of the clock face was Prussian blue. And they had to put gold leaf on the clock face to make it look more like it did back in the day.
Okay, restoration. That is so good. I'm Ask Dr. Gold, and if you're just now joining us, I'm here with Mr. Demond Brown. He's a student and an artist, I tell you, and he's bringing some history to us today about Big Ben. I tell you, I am so excited about this. Can you tell us more?
Well, I'll tell you more. I'll even tell you about Notre Dame.
Okay.
Before Notre Dame became the cathedral it was today,
All right.
it was a temple dedicated to Jupiter, the Roman equivalent of Zeus.
Okay.
After that, it became the cathedral of Saint Etienne, or Stephen in French.
Okay.
Notre Dame was built in 1160 and designed by the Bishop of Paris, Maurice de Sully, where it still is controlled by the bishops of Paris. Since its completion in 1345, Notre Dame is a work of art, from the flying buttresses to the stunning panels. It is a living Bible on itself. Its Romanesque style was even ahead of its time.
Right.
It even was the focal point of historic events that happened there. The coronations of Henry IV and of England and Napoleon I as emperor in 1804. It even was the center point when the restoration of the cathedral was done by Emmanuel Viollet-le-Duc in 1845. Because during the French Revolution, they literally just tore down the statues, literally made a mess of the whole cathedral.
I see. I tell you, I am so excited just to hear history like this, just live. We have Mr. Damon Brown here. He's a college student, and also he's an artist. Not only does he know history so well, he can also draw history. And he's been our special guest today here on the Ask Dr. Gold show. We are so excited to bring in young people. Now, somebody might ask, well, Ask Dr. Gold, I thought your show was about family and relationship and all of that. Well, guess what? It is. And how does this correlate with that? Well, Mr. Brown is actually one of my family members. And he's a young man that I am so proud of. I tell you, not to put all of the information out there, but he's not a blood relative, but he's a young man who we thought would be a great fit for our family and to bring into our home and our ministry. And also, we've been able to help him go to school, buy clothes, do volunteer work, and so much more. Ask Dr. Gold, why are you saying this? Well, I want more families to be able to do things like this. There are so many young people out there today that are out there on their own. They don't have anybody. Mr. Brown, do they? They're just out there all alone. Or they might have somebody in their family and they're not able to take care of them. Well, what we did was we not only brought him, but we have others that have joined into our family cycle, right? And I just felt like God has been so good to me, and he's done so much for me. And growing up the way that I did, I was able to have a mother and a father there for me. But at this time, Mr. Brown doesn't have that. And we wanted to give him the type of love that I grew up with. And I've been able to do that. Tell me a little bit about how does it feel to join in on a family and grow up like this?
It feels warm and exciting.
Okay. let's stay on the positive side about that. So, are you saying warm because of lovingness and exciting because you look over and you see that others might be struggling in an area, but you were fortunate to be able to join in on the family, right?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Tell us just a tiny bit more of that. Just kind of encourage, if you had to encourage a young man or a young woman that's out there on the streets and don't have a home, tell them a little bit about what they could do.
I would tell them never give up until they find the right family that is befitting for them.
Awesome. Well, that about wraps up our show today. I'm Ask Dr. Gold with the Ask Dr. Gold show. I have been so excited to bring to you guys, our listeners, on all of our platforms, just some information about going out as a family and reaching out to someone. It could be kids you could adopt, you could go to your ministry and find that it might be a need in your church for young people. You can volunteer with the choir, you can volunteer with the youth group, and so much more, or just donate to a youth program. We have a nonprofit, Angels Lighthouse, and we've had so many kids come through our doors. You remember the trip when we went to San Antonio where we took 21 youth to see Seymour? Tell us about that.
It was great. I even got to see the Alamo.
Oh, you did? Oh, tell us about that.
It was like seeing history come to life in front of my very eyes.
Wow, wow. Well, we're wrapping up now and it's time to go, but we didn't want to leave you without just letting you know how much we appreciate you joining in with us every Friday at 7 p.m. I'm excited to know that it is so much for the family to do out here, to join together. I don't want the family to give up no matter what you're going through. We can make it. I need you to hold on. And most of all, we here at the Ask Dr. Gold show, we like to pray about it. And we put a prayer on it. And then when we get through praying, we put a praise on it. So we do invite you to just join in your local ministry or go online and join in. And also just try your best to hold on and be strong because help is on the way. Don't give up. I'm Ask Dr. Gold, and you have been listening to the Ask Dr. Gold show. And I am proud of you, and I want you to hang in there and don't give up.